Good evening. Christopher Young here to help introduce you to some of the features and meet your brand new Keystone Cougar opulent coach known as the 22RBS. Congratulations on snagging your brand new Keystone Cougar half-ton 22RBS. Let's meet some of the features on this beautiful coach. I'm going to start right up front with the LCI, the Lippert powered tongue jack. Three things really to note about this one. Number one, I got the manual override already open and the rubber stopper removed from the cover. This is one where you'll find the tool in the pass-through storage to rotate this whichever direction you need it to go, followed by the powered rocker switches down here. You got the on-off for your LED light over here, which gives you a little additional safety and security at night, and the the hitch controls, retract and extend. Extend raises, retract lowers. And one of the things when you're stabilizing your coach, try to do side to side first and then do front to back. Now, right behind that, we'll set these over here for a second, is your twin 30-pound LP tanks with the cover. Now you'll notice that these are hooked up. Make sure that your connections are tight. And if you need to open up the propane to make sure you got propane, you just open up the cases there. You'll see on the regulator right here that when it goes from red to green, we do have propane in those tanks. You can turn the supply switch from left to right depending on which tank that you want. The regulator will show you if you have propane or if you don't. And then, when you're not in use, always recommend closing them too. If you do need to swap these out, you got the wing nut right here. Just loosen that, remove the safety, the safety bar, take the propane tanks out and replace them. When you're covering them back up, try to put the knobs right here, which opens up the flap inside the cover. Try to have those facing the coach because they're not secured on the middle part here like the back is. So when you're going down the road, the wind can sometimes come in there and lift it up. You got the rail for your battery boxes right there. Good space for two of them. Plus you got your Gigi box over here for your battery disconnect for on, off, and then when in charging. Nice little feature there. Hopefully yours will come with a balloon. Over here, we have our pass-through storage, which is finished off, and you got magnetic anti-slam and covered latches on all your doors. You're also set up for the Furion side vision. Now, this is an additional service, an additional piece of equipment that you can get that really helps with safety and security when taking your coach down the road, but it's one that I highly advise. Now, right here are your in-command brain centers, I like to say. And I'm gonna leave it at that because we really don't wanna mess with that. If something's wrong with your in-command, bring it in and let our service folks take a look at it. Now, your 22RBS also comes with the Lippert PSX1 stabilizer jack systems. This is a powered jack control, which is on the off-camp side storage, the other side of the storage door over here, which we'll get to in a minute. When bringing those down, one side might come down before the other. That's okay. You also have a manual override option as well. But once those stabilizer jacks are down and you hear it kind of grind a little bit, that's when you stop because those are stabilizers, not levelers. You also have the 12-volt powered Lippert Solera 12-volt awning, which has adjustable pitch on it. And when you do adjust the pitch, you'll see how the water's coming down now. Make sure you're under the awning as opposed to on that side of the awning. You don't want the impromptu bath. Then when you get done, just raise it back up so that it's level. That way, when you're bringing the awning back in, you don't have to worry about it being cockeyed or breaking or coming off the frame. You also had sealed safety windows on this coach, external speakers. You have power on the outside, as well as your KeyTV multi-source connection. The KeyTV multi-source connection is one place that you go to plug in all of your entertainment, cable, satellite, antenna, and you don't have to worry about chasing cords. Just a very nice little handy dandy system. You do have aluminum rims on this 22RBS with nitro-filled tires and the Dexter Easy Lube axles. The one thing to note, get it checked about every year because those bearings might need to be repacked every year. If you go to touch the wheel assembly and it's super hot, that's a note, that's a red flag. You either need to get it to service and you can squirt a couple of pumps, no more than 2 of the lube in there, but that's really just to get you to a dealership. If you're not comfortable doing that, call Good Sam, have Roadside help you out, or call the dealership, let us take care of it for you. You also have the solid steps on your 22RBS. And let me tell you, these are awesome. Just be careful, because with anything lifting, pushing, or pulling, you want to make sure you don't hurt yourself in doing it. Got 3 solid steps that raise up. You'll notice you got the pull stoppers here to adjust the legs. Just pull those out. You can move the legs wherever you need it. And right here, we have the pull latch that keeps our feet secure when it's inside the coach. To get them back down, just pull this out. Safely and securely grab and pull. Just be careful of that, because it is a little clip there. Boop. And there you go. Just make sure when you are getting the feet level on the ground, that not only are they level, so it's a secure step going into the coach, but this plate, which is also removable, you can take this off if you want, but just removing those hitches and then pulling it out. But make sure this is flush with the entryway, because if not, then the door won't shut. This is your door handle that also acts as a door guard. Just lift it up and turn, and that'll keep the door safe and secure while in transit. You also have a hot water heater on this unit. This is the Suburban hot water heater, and what's great about it is not only do you have the hot water heater bypass on this one, which gives you instant hot water. This is pretty easy to operate, and it's a sturdy model. And let's go through it real quick. Right up here is your pressure release valve. This is to give you some air on top of the tank inside the hot water heater. So if it's too full, you'll come out and you'll see it start weeping or dripping. It's not broken, you just need to let some water out. So wait for it to cool down, number one, then get a coffee mug and then just release the water out of the pressure valve there. If you do need to manually reset this hot water heater at any time, you got the double button push right there, your flash tube, your igniter, and the exhaust cover. Now, if you ever come outside your RV and you see some debris going up the side of the coach, something in there doesn't need to be in there. Chances are there's some debris or spider webs or something inside the flash tube, because propane has mercaptan in it. Bugs love it. Spiders especially. They'll build nests inside this flash tube, or dirt daubers will get in there. Just take a pipe cleaner, clean it out. You should be good to go. This is your igniter as well, and your anode rod right there, which you want to replace about once a year. If anytime you say, Chris, I'm not comfortable doing this, bring it in, let our service folks take care of it for you. 4x4 sewer hose storage right here is a lockable, controllable. This is your Key TV multi-source connection. Solid ladder, hitch. Plus, we are set up for backup camera on the 22 RBS. So be sure to talk to your service folks about getting that added in for you. 30 amp plug connection right there. Your gray tank and your black tank on this unit. You'll notice your terminations down there. The handles denoted by the colors. We'd like to tell people too, when you're set up at the campsite, you don't have to leave those open all the time. And it's not really good to do so, especially with the black tank, because what will happen is that solid waste will cause pyramiding inside the black tank, make it hard to flush, just maybe cause you, some error messages. Just leave it closed, and when you do go to dump the black tank first and then dump the gray tank. This right here is the back of your 35,000 BTU Dometic furnace that's on this 22 RBS. This is a vent, and it's 35K BTU, so there might be a lot of hot air coming out of this, just like with me. Try not to block this with camp chairs or anything fabric, because hot air and fabric don't really mix. Your 22 RBS comes with a True Fit slide, which is a rack and pinion through frame slide, sturdy, secure, insulated all the way around. But if you can, get some bulb seal and just hit, or some bulb seal lubricant, and just hit these seals about every 6 months. That'll keep them from drying and cracking and causing some issues when running your slide out. Now with your docking station, this is mainly where the water connections, the main water connections go. You'll see that you have these movable slides that give you the space to secure and lock your connections while set up at the campsite. You got your 751 key located right there. This is your selector switch. So if you're set up to city water, you're plugged in right here, you have it here. If you need to just fill the fresh tank, you flip it up to that. This is your vent to let the air out of the tank when you are filling. If water starts spurting out of here, you're too full. You might want to drain some with the low point drains or the fresh tank drain in place there. Now right here is your external shower with hot and cold, and your black tank flush. With the black tank flush, two things to note. Number one, do not use your potable water hose. Get two separate hoses for black tank and freshwater fill. And then when you are getting ready to apply water pressure here, make sure that black tank is open. If not, that's going to be a bad day for everybody. You do have a Solar Flex 200-watt solar panel on your 22RBS, which powers a lot of things and even gives you some inverted outlets. To help out, I would suggest getting a solar panel, and this is your 10-amp quick connect for that solar panel. That'll help not only trickle charge the battery like the solar panel will, but it will just be that additional assistance, especially if you're off grid and running a lot of power. Right here is the tool for the manual override of your stabilizer jacks. You'll notice there's a groove there. That groove corresponds with the little pin that's sticking out there. And if you ever don't have power, clockwise brings your stabilizer jacks down, counterclockwise raises them back up. Just be careful because it does take some elbow grease to get that rolling. Now here on the other side of your pass-through storage are some of your controls. Your docking lights control is right there. This is your power controls for your stabilizer jacks front and rear, and right here is your charge controller. This lets you know where the battery is in relation to where the charger. You'll see that we have the indicators there. So the green LED, we're in float, yellow, we're in the absorption stage, and then blue, we're in the bulk charge stage. Very nice indicator because you do have those solar panels to let you know where everything is with your charging. Boom. So we've seen some of the features on the outside of your beautiful Keystone Cougar half-ton 22RBS. What do you say we go take a look on the inside and see all the great things we have there? So the first thing you probably want to look for when you come into your 22RBS Keystone Cougar is going to be this in-command control panel. This is the command hub that lets you know what's going on with the coach and how to control everything in it. If you're first time setting it up, usually the passcode is 4 zeros, or it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can see here, I can control my HVAC system, cut on the front AC if you have one, which you don't. Change this from to fan, to cool, to heat, to auto, to off. Very nice feature to have. Go back home. I can control my lights. You'll see the bedroom, the ceiling, the awning light. If the line is there, and yeah, here, we'll cut that off. Cut that on. Let's go back. Slides and awning. Pretty simple, in for in, out for out. Settings is really just where you can go to set up, change your passcode. If you got a different floor plan, do the edit. You really won't really need that if you need to calibrate. This will give you your battery reading. You can cut on your water pump, which you won't need unless you are boondocking. If you're set up to city water, you won't really need it. You do have a water heater on here, and you can see your fresh tank, your black tank, and your gray tank. And the best part about the in-command system is you can also control this stuff from your app on your cell phone. So very nice feature to have if you're out and about and you say, oh, you know, it's hot out here. We need to cut the HVAC on. Let's get the AC going. You can do that all from the touchscreen on your cell phone. But if you're dumping the tanks and you come back in and you say, wait a minute, this is showing that my black tank is full. What is that all about? There's a little sensor, 2 of them on that tank, and sometimes a bead of water can get in between those 2 sensors. That'll cause a false reading sometimes. So if you just dump the tanks, give it about 10 to 15 minutes, let that water drip down to the bottom, come back, they should read empty like they are here, and you should be good to go. Great little system on the in-command. Now with your 22RBS, let's talk about the rear bath. But before I get there, anything electric or component wise on this coach, if you're plugged into shore power or if it should run off that 200-watt solar flex panel on top and you've checked it, everything's good to go, push to open. These fuses are smart fuses. So if one of them's blown or something's faulty, there will be a red light in the middle indicating that it needs to be replaced. So you can replace it, everything should work. But if you do, everything still isn't working, bring it in, let our folks at Camping World take care of it for you. Then you also got your LP and your O2 detector right there, nice little safety feature. Inside your bathroom, you will have a high-rise porcelain Toilet with the foot flush. This is the Dometic. Just push down lightly to bring water into the bowl, and then to dump into the black tank, just push down and hold, and that'll flush everything down. Now, that little black seal there, if the flapper is closed, but for some reason the water's still leaking, you can actually take some Vaseline on the glove and just rub around the bottom of that seal. That'll help get your connection back sturdy and you won't have any draining. Sink works pretty simple, you know, hot and cold. Same thing for your shower. You got your hot and your cold and your shower head with the adjustable shower spring right there. You do have a vent and a fan, which is powered here as well. Just open this up, and then there's a little switch that cuts the fan on for you. Just make sure before you go anywhere, or if there's going to be an inclement weather, to close that and make sure it's closed tight. Now, let's go into the kitchen where we are going to find our Furrion 3-burner cooktop glass cover with 21-inch oven, as well as lights for the handles and lights for the oven. This is fairly simple. If you have the propane running, this should light up when you select the burner that you want to cut on. So what you do is you push and turn to the light, and then you turn this actuator, and you'll see that we have fire right there. Just make sure that when you're done, that you cut it off. If for some reason that, you know, hey, I got propane, I know propane's running, why isn't my thing lighting? You can lift up this plate, and there's 2 connectors, or there's a connector on either side. Sometimes it comes disconnected during transit. Just plug it back in. For your oven, same thing. Push and turn to the light, and then turn the actuator. And that should spark up your oven if you have propane. If you do have propane, connector looks good, igniter looks good, you can see the spark when you turn, but it's still not cutting on, bring it in, let our service folks take a look at it for you. Greystone microwave works just like a microwave should. Same thing for your sink. You got hot, you got cold, you open up for water, and your sprayer has a multi-setting, so you can go from spraying to just regular stream. Here's your cutting boards and your drying rack. Nice little features to have. Your Furrion AM/FM command center with CD, DVD, and Bluetooth. Very nice little feature right here. Power, push to cut it on. You'll see the zones that you have here. Push and hold to cut it off. This is your volume control. These are your selections for auxiliary, USB, you know, fast forward, reverse. Pretty nice little feature. TV, you'll see, is also plugged into an inverted outlet. If you see the yellow strip, that means that the outlet is inverted. There's your Key TV multi-source connection, so cable or satellite. TV also has a remote. Works fairly like a TV should. Your U-shaped dinette, awesome, because you can fit, you know, more than 4 people right there to enjoy each other's company. But it's also a sleeper. So you'll notice that along with the storage underneath and these solid backers, there's a foot right here. So what you do is you just, you know, lift up the cushions. Once again, when lifting, pulling, or pushing, please be careful. If you need help, ask for it. Take the table off of those legs, set it right here on those 3 feet, and then you can just adjust the cushions. That'll be your additional sleeper. Now you do have the Coleman Mach Whisper Quiet AC on this unit as well to go along with your 35,000 BTU furnace that's on this bad boy. This has a quick cool dump, which are these vents right here. Just slide them open if you want to get the quick cool. If not, you do have the blade ducting system, which just distributes the air more evenly. You got your filters right there. Both components of your HVAC system are controlled from the in-command panel. So if that panel's not working, your HVAC is also not working. Just always keep that in mind. Your unit may have filters as well. If so, they'll be under this vent right here. Try to switch those out about every 6 months. Now your 22RBS will also have this 10.7 cubic foot Norcold fridge freezer combo. This is a 12-volt fridge. It's also frost-free. To cut it on, let's see, is right up top. And you know what, Bobby, we'll go ahead and cut this on. Now, to control the temperature, you can push, you know, obviously the higher, the colder, the lower, the warmer. This indicates I'm adjusting the temperature for the fridge. This indicates I'm adjusting it for the freezer. If you hit this button right here, it's going to cut the compressor to 50% power. And what that's going to do is that's going to just make it run quiet. So it's a good mode to have at night, especially if you got someone sleeping here. And also, since you don't have a door separating the living area from the master bedroom, it's probably good to run that at night too if you're all here by yourself. Your lights here on the booth dinette also have a dimmer switch, up for bright, down for darker. Plain and simple, pretty nice. Let's see, what else? King size bed here. Does have strut supported storage, but once again, when lifting, please just be careful. You also have on this unit the inverted outlets over there on both sides, and nice little privacy light right there, and the privacy shade for your privacy window. Just pull that down. Any of the shades you can just pull down and release, that'll raise, and then to lower, just pull down and pull again. Sturdy, luxury, beautiful, and packed full of features. You're also set up for 4G LTE and Wi-Fi extension through WineGuard. Great little service to get. The 200-watt solar panel is a great option to have. Tremendous insulation, temperature rated 0 to 100 degrees. So a lot of features both inside and outside that you can and can't see on your Keystone Cougar 22RBS. But if at any time you have any questions or any issues with anything, you can give us a call because we have an elite service team standing by to help you out. You can also just bring it in and let us help you with it. Just because at the end of the day, the one thing we want you to enjoy is this RV to its absolute fullest.